Ladies and gentlemen, it's a tremendous honor to introduce to you the Drift Across the World podcast.
Testing, 1, 2, testing. Hope you can all hear me. If you're on YouTube, hopefully you'll be able to see me. And if you're listening to the audio version, hopefully you can hear me on the old podcast. My name's Andy Howard, and this is, my first ever podcast. I've written down a few questions for myself here on the laptop. I look very professional. Again, you'll see how professional I actually am if you're watching the YouTube, and hopefully you can hear how professional I sound. Hopefully I actually do sound professional. This is how professional I am. I've written myself some very simple questions to answer, 3 in fact. The first one, let's go straight into it. Episode 1, greet and introduce yourself. Okay, well, my name is Andy Howard and I'm currently in Australia. Good job, Andy. First one down, second one. Why are you setting up a podcast? Well, very good question, Andy. And let me tell you some of the answers. Probably one of the biggest ones is that the thought of a podcast and recording yourself without editing scares me quite a lot. I'm very nervous in front of the camera. Hopefully it doesn't come across some of the videos that I am that way, but I do so many takes and try just get a decent one. So the thoughts of not being able to edit, being in front of the camera and talking consistently really quite scares me. So it was trying to come over that hurdle and really challenge myself. I feel that if you put yourself in an uncomfortable position, it's basically all you can do is grow or just don't do it. And if you keep just doing it over and over again, eventually you become comfortable at it. So I want to put myself in an uncomfortable position to become comfortable in that position. That was one reason. The second reason is I have challenged myself, and as part of that challenge I'm trying to create a community, and I really wanted to be able to try bring people on board on this podcast, bring in like guest speakers and stuff, and have a bit of interviews, have a bit of fun, and just create a bit of a community around Drift Across the World. And here we are on to the third and final question already. We're over, not just over the halfway mark, we're actually at the end of the benchmark here of the last question. So a small introduction to the project. So I have challenged myself to drift across the world. So basically the challenge is I'll drive a road legal drift car from here in Australia all the way to Ireland. Now, for those that don't know anything about drifting is the fastest growing motorsport in the world. It is basically a car that has been manufactured from factory, and you modify it to be able to go sideways. And you put the car out of control and try to control it out of control in designated areas. So I'll talk more about what actually drifting is at a later stage, but if you don't know, maybe have a quick Google of it. There is another version of drifting where you're just aimlessly being in life and floating, as some would say, and very unsure what you want to do, and that's another type of drifting. But I'm doing the other side. I'm the motorsport side of drifting. Also, people will say, Andy, that's all well and good, but how can you drive from Australia to Ireland? And you're right, there is a sea involved. So I'm going to have to ship the car, I think twice so far. But other than that, I'll be driving it. I think it's 97% of all of it will be on land. So I'll be competing in events along the way, so different international drift events. I hope to meet up with other like-minded folk, immerse myself in different cultures, and we're doing it all then to raise money for Make-A-Wish. And I'll talk more about Make-A-Wish at a later stage as well, but it's amazing is what it is. And I feel like I didn't muck up this whole entire first ever episode and podcast. I think I'll leave on a high. I'll end on a high. I don't even know how long that took, but I hope it all worked out well. I hope you enjoyed it. I will do an episode number 2, so I hope you're around for that. If anyone has any questions or would like to jump even on board in this podcast, and we can have a quick chat about drifting or life or whatever it is that you want or whatever it is everyone else wants. But no, I really do appreciate it, and thank you all so much for your support so far and your interest in this podcast. So I'll see you on episode number 2. Thank you very much.